Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming this afternoon to our wonderfully excited, happy program that we're going to have that was put on by Steve Cedarbaum and Michael Heafy. I'll let them take the reins with our introductions, but I will say that I recognize Brendan from our 50th anniversary. I believe you were in the Brendan Trio. Do I recall that right? For the Emeriti Center last year?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah. So at our 50th anniversary last year, Brendan and I think two other people performed at our 50th anniversary. So I just recognized the name. So with that, I'll turn it over to Stephen and then Michael.
Thank you, Aisha. Appreciate that very much. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege and honor to introduce Professor Arturo O'Farrell, who is also an associate dean for equity, diversity, and inclusion on campus. Hence his still waiting dialogues, so that you can join those later. Uh, he was born in Mexico, but raised in New York City. Uh, he is the son of famed jazz great Chico O'Farrell. And this guy has got chops for days. I'm telling you, he was such a great addition to the Alpert School of Music. He's played with Dizzy Gillespie, Wynton Marsalis, Harry Belafonte, and I noted earlier you played with Carla Bley, but we'll get into that at the Q&A. He is also a 2016 Grammy winner. So he's composed music for ballet and for dance companies and been pretty much everywhere. So we are very honored to have Professor O'Farrell, Arturo, and his hugely talented students of the UCLA Afro Latin Jazz Orchestra perform both on video and live for us today. Arturo, bring it to us, if you please.
I'd be thrilled to. And before I get any further, I want to recognize great students of UCLA, the Herb Alpert School of Music, some of the finest musicians and students and human beings that I know. I've had such fun working with these young people, and they've taught me so much. Their willingness and their commitment to their craft, and in particular, the two that you have here, Brandon and Larry, are extraordinary examples of the very best of UCLA. That spirit of willingness and cooperation and love of music. And so I'm not going to do a lot of talking at first. I want you guys to feel free to take off your shoes if your feet don't smell. Get yourself a nice little glass of wine or whatever I don't know, it's early there, isn't it? Oh dear, it's too early. Some of you should not drink anyway, and you know who you are. But for the rest of you, pull out a lemonade or a glass of wine and prop up your feet because you're going to hear some great music. We're going to begin with a piece. I want you to pay particular attention to Santa Claus in this piece. He comes out right away. It's a piece that we premiered at the Fowler Out Loud series. It's a piece that was that you'll recognize right out of the gate, and that you probably won't have heard this treatment of it, but it was written for Machito and arranged by Chico Farrell. We're going to perform for you Holiday Mambo.
Let's try that one more time. Here we go. Okay, Arturo, do you want to talk to us about
Yeah,
what you
I,
do here at the school?
okay, I will. While there it goes. There it goes. I'm not sure quite what's going on. But what happened is that we did a holiday mambo concert series at the Fowler Out Loud Museum and to Fowler Museum, their Out Loud series. And this is we can go right to one of the small ensembles first, if you'd like, Larry. Would that be helpful?
Yeah, I'm gonna see. This should play.
There you go.
Bienvenidos, señoras y señores. Levántate y baila con la música, porque es la hora del órale mambo. La música de la hora de mambo.
I want to tell you guys something. The UCLA Afro Latin Jazz Orchestra was the only large ensemble in session in this last quarter. And these young musicians rose heroically to put this concert together and learned a bunch of new technology. And not only did they survive, but they swung. They swung hard. And that's an example of true heroic music making. And so I applaud the UCLA Afro Latin Jazz Orchestra. The next gentleman who you're going to hear from is somebody who's in our audience today, and maybe I'll let him set this up. This is Brendan K. C. Wilson's ensemble, and he calls this piece New Blue. And if you want to set this up, Brendan, please.
Oh, hang on. I think I need to unmute you. Hold on one second. Right.
By the way, are those gaming headphones? You're not a gamer, are you?
High school. Is this on? Is this
yeah,
working?
It's on.
Yes.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, so this song is called New Blue. and I wrote it probably 3 years ago. So it's kind of early on in my time at UCLA. So I'm now in my 4th year, so I was probably in between first and second year. But this song has sort of stayed important to me because I think it's emotional in its message. It's sort of about it's a sad song, but also realizing that there can be hope within sadness. And so I feel like that is relevant to anybody in this country today. And also, if you look at the history of this music, that's traditionally like what the blues is about. That's a big theme in the blues. So that was kind of why I wanted to have that in the title. But then at the same time, it doesn't sound like a blues song. So that's why it's New Blue. And musically, it kind of combines jazz and R&B styles. So to me, that's also like, important for my generation of music makers. That's like, a big part of our sound and our contribution to the story of jazz and all of this music. So yes, I hope you enjoy New Blue.
Brendan Kersey Wilson, extraordinary young musician. And I got to tell you a funny story. A couple of weeks ago, we were doing our virtual Birdland big band stream series that we have, and our trombone player dropped out, and so I invited Brendan to sit in with my professional Afro Latin Jazz Orchestra, and he did an incredible job. In fact, he did such a good job that my lead trumpet player, who's usually very crabby, asked if we could keep him. So congratulations, Brendan. Brendan Kersey Wilson on trombone and piano, Joe Bickle on bass, and Liam Wallace on the drums. We're going to continue with a performance from a great young musician named Steve Murillo. This is a piece called Head-On Collision.
Hello, my name is Steve Murillo, and this is the Steve Murillo Quartet. The first tune we'll be playing for you is entitled Head-On Collision, and I actually wrote this tune about a year ago when I was riding a bird scooter on the street and I was hit by a car. So if there's one thing that's good that came out of that event, is this tune. So I sincerely hope you enjoy Head-On Collision.
Yes, indeed. The Steve Murillo Quartet featuring Steve Murillo on the alto saxophone, Isabel Dobrev on the bass, Noah Mahood on drums, and Cole McQuinn at the piano. We're going to hear another piece from Steve Murillo, and this piece is called At What Cost?
This next tune is entitled At What Cost? And it was written at a time in my life where I felt a lot of confusion, pain, and sorrow because I was continuously debating on whether or not I should continue to identify with a very special person in my life at the time. And I want to thank everyone who came out today to support my fellow musicians and friends, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Here is At What Cost?
I believe Steve Murillo is in attendance today, and I wonder if you'd say hello, Steve. Are you here?
Oh, hang on, let me see.
We're gonna unmute you just so you guys can know and meet these extraordinary young musicians. Some of the best musicians. There you are. How you doing, Steve?
Doing well. How's everybody? How are you, Arturo?
Good. It's so beautiful to hear you play. You play so beautifully, man. That's a beautiful song too.
Thank you so
Incredible.
much. I really appreciate that.
Is there anything you want to share with us?
Well, other than the intros that I made, I hope you guys got a little taste and understanding of why I made those tunes, and hopefully you can hear the inspiration of the stories within the tunes themselves. But I'll still be around after for the Q&A portion. I just want to say
Good.
thank you so much for everybody for being here. I and my group had so much fun recording these.
Yeah, thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you for recording them. And it's funny because one of the things that Cornell West said during our dialogue was that I asked him to help frame this moment for us, to help frame this moment in history for us. And he said one of the smartest things I've ever said. He said, "We'll always have uh, difficult times, but it's the poet warriors, it's the young musicians and young dancers and young writers and filmmakers and the we have to speak, and we have to speak our art and do what we do, because it brings all of us, it brings the all of us, it brings us light, and we have to keep hope alive, because that's the most important thing. And when I hear young musicians like Brendan and Larry and Steve, it gives me so much hope and so much joy. So I'm very grateful too. I'm grateful too. This is a new program. Global Jazz Studies is fairly new. It's a fairly new department in a fairly young school. And I'd want to recognize Dr. Steve Losa, the chairman, and for creating a world-class institution at UCLA for the training of a future and progressive look at jazz. We have Trans Blanchard on our faculty, and Mark Turner, and Luisiana Souza, and it's just an amazing thing that's happening here. The gentleman who's kind of running the whole show here today is going to do a hybrid of live performance, and he's going to perform on the baritone, and at the same time that he's going to play a video. So I'm going to introduce you to the great, the mystical, the powerful, the amazing Larry Alvarez.
Thank you so much, Arturo. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody who came to view the all the performances today. Brendan and Steve are both friends that I've known for many, many, many years. I knew Steve even before college, and it's always so nice to hear how all of us improve. So I just wanted to explain really quick what we did for this tune. So actually, the piano player that is on Steve's band, his name's Cole McQuinn, a first year at UCLA, and a great, fantastic piano player. He's actually in Austin, Texas right now, as everybody's living where they are. And I called him and I told him, hey, I have an idea. What if we get on a Zoom call and we record piano and baritone? It's live. And one and done, one take. And he's like, okay, yeah, he's open to the idea. So we tried it a few times, right? Because the Zoom lag or whatever. But then I had another idea, right? I was like, okay, we're gonna use this live piano and have our bass player, I think Will is here, Will Pike, track his bass, and then our drummer, Oliver Cooper, track his drums. We're gonna combine it all together, and then I will do a live rendition of a tune by Duke Ellington. And when Duke Ellington performs this tune, he always introduces it with, he always says, and now our favorite lady, Sophisticated Lady.
Bravo. Larry Alvarez on the baritone saxophone, Cole McQuinn on the piano, Will Pike on the bass, and Oliver Cooper on the drums. We have one more, and then we'll take some questions. A lot of love in the room. I don't know if you guys are checking out the chat, but you guys are getting a lot of love, and you so desperately, we all desperately need love. And this is such a beautiful moment to spend with these incredible students. The last piece we're going to play for you is a piece by Tito Puente called Para los Rumberos. And Tito Puente understood one thing, that people, you can take a backseat to life or you can celebrate it. Sometimes life hands you these difficult moments, these difficult years, and surely Tito knew about those years, but somehow he understood how that rumberos dance and sing and believe and show up and take front and center in the roles that they play in their lives. And these young musicians are rumberos in the best sense of the word. They know that when life hands you lemons, you can make lechon asado out of it. So we hope that you enjoy this incredible performance of Tito Puente's Para los Rumberos.
Vamos rumberos que la rumba ya iba a empezar. Vamos rumberos que la rumba ya iba a empezar. Vamos rumberos que la rumba ya iba a empezar. Vamos rumberos que la rumba ya iba a empezar. Hay que gente vea, todos a bailar. Vamos los rumberos, vamos a tocar. Así. Hay que gente vea, todos a bailar. Vamos los rumberos, vamos a tocar. Vamos gente. Rumberos, rumba, ya va a empezar, ya va a empezar. Rumba, ya va a empezar, ya va a empezar. Rumba, ya va a empezar, ya va a empezar. Rumba, ya va a empezar, rumba, ya va a empezar. ¡Ra! Rumba, ya iba a empezar, ya va a empezar. Rumba, ya iba a empezar, ya va a empezar. Tadne, tadne, zabaraberitate, kimera, kimara, kima, kim, bomba, taberube, ube. Hay que gente bella, todos a bailar, bailar. Vamos los rumberos, vamos a tocar. Vamos gente, hay que gente bella, todos a bailar, bailar. Vamos los rumberos, vamos a tocar. Vamos rumberos, la rumba va a empezar. Vamos rumberos, rumba, 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 rumba. Hay que gente bella, todos a bailar. Vamos los rumberos, vamos a tocar. Vamos a tocar. Hay que gente bella, todos a bailar. Vamos los rumberos, vamos a tocar. Hay que gente bella, todos a bailar. Vamos los rumberos, vamos a tocar.
Yes, indeed. The incredible UCLA Afro Latin Jazz Orchestra, featuring some great talent: Kenny Stias, Brendan Kersey Wilson, Cy Coleman, Oliver Cooper, Javon, and the great Emily Silva on the vocals in Tito Puente's Para los Rumberos. There's a lot of things that I just want to say, but I want to make sure that we have time for you to ask questions. I just want to thank Dean Judy for being here today, and for Dr. Cedarbaum and Michael Heafy and Aisha Dixon. You guys are a dream team, and it's been such fun to be here. Most of all, it's been fun to see these young musicians play with such power and style and grace. The music, they're extraordinary. They're an extraordinarily high level, and I'm very, very, very happy to be able to learn from these young musicians every time I stand in front of them or see them on a Zoom screen. It's been one of the great educational experiences of my life. One question people ask is, how do these musicians get to UCLA? Do they audition? Yes, they audition. It's highly competitive, and they are chosen not only because they're such great musicians, but also we kind of check out who they are as people and what they think of life and how they deal with adversity. And so they are true Bruins in every sense of the word. So at this point, I know we have a lot of these young musicians in our group of audiences. So maybe if you have questions, you can direct them towards me or them. But I'd love to take a moment and answer anything you might want to know about the program or how we do this. Another question you might know is, how do you get all those people to play together without being in the same room? We do it with iPhones and a technique called DAWs, Digital Area Workstations, and a lot of video editing, a lot of great sound engineering, all done by the students, and just really a tremendous effort. Why don't we do this? Let's give these great young musicians a big round of applause.
Yes,
Bravo, bravo.
This is Steve Cedarbaum. Let me take over the question and answers. Aisha, will you unmute everybody? Or I guess
Everyone can unmute. So if you want to say something or give a round of applause, you can unmute.
Well, let me begin by thanking Arturo and the students. I don't know that the students really understand how special this is for us. This audience is composed of people who have a special affinity for UCLA, so that to understand the students, what brings you here, and to show us your enormous talent just adds to the pleasure. So I want to thank you on behalf of all of us for doing this. Arturo began with Michael's question. How did you get here? I'd like to hear from the students. How did you get here? What brought you here? And what are your aspirations when you graduate? Where are you heading in life? I guess, Larry, do you want to start? You're on the screen.
Yeah, actually, coming out of high school, I had no intention of pursuing music. I was actually going to apply under biological sciences, and I thought I was going to work in a forensic laboratory studying blood spatter and DNA samples for the rest of my life. And then I quickly realized I didn't have the stomach for that. So the next best thing that I was doing was playing in the all district band. Uh, actually, back in high school, I was playing baritone sax, and we both ended up applying to the universities in our area in Southern California, UC Irvine, UCLA, and the other schools around the area. And UCLA was fortunate enough to give us a space and nurture us and let us grow into musicians and into better people, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going off what Larry said, him and I were in the same honor band in high school. And I actually chose to go to UCLA because of the direct affiliation with the now Herbie Hancock Institute of Jazz. Because the high school band I was part of was before it was called the Thelonious Monk Institute of Jazz. But I really wanted to continue that relationship with them. And I kind of just coincides with what I want to do after I graduate. You know, I'm still going to be performing. I'm still going to be making and composing music, but I really want to be a part of the institute and continue to work with new artists of my generation and more, and then with the artists legends of today like Herbie, Wayne Shorter, Terrence Blanchard, and so on. So yeah, that's and just like what Larry said, UCLA has definitely helped my development as a musician and as a person. So I'm very thankful for that.
I I came from Berkeley, California, is my hometown, the Bay Area, and so I played in the bands, the jazz band in high school, and I loved music, and I realized that that was something that I wanted to pursue. My older brother is also a professional musician, but so I knew that there was that was an option for me, and so I decided to audition for schools, and ultimately I got into UCLA, and I got into a school in New York as well, and then I was just thinking about my experience with auditioning at both of the schools, and I was just thinking about being in New York. I was there in March, it was like 30 degrees plus the wind chill, so it was not good for a born and bred Cali boy like myself. But then I was thinking to UCLA, I was just sitting on the grass and 70 degrees out, just beautiful weather, the birds chirping, and that pretty much sealed it for me. I just the environment and the spirit of UCLA is amazing, and I felt that from you know, from the second that I was there auditioning until now, even now when we're not even at UCLA, it's still here because it's in the students, it's in all of us. And so, yeah, that's my story.
I think the audience feels the same way.
I know I do. I came from the Bay Area as well, and dang, it got foggy and chilly up there. I'm much happier here in Southern California.
I know, yeah.
Well, I came because they offered me a job. Which brings us to the next question. What are your plans, Brendan, after you graduate? Have you formulated them, or are you just going to see how things come?
Yeah, you know, I write music now, and I'm learning more and more about it every day, and hopefully we can go back to playing together in an actual room soon. So as soon as that happens, I'm planning to make a record of my own music. That'll be sort of jazz fusion with you know, R&B, pop, hip hop, all the good modern stuff that inspires me, because I was really inspired by bands like from the 70s, like Herbie's fusion stuff and Tower of Power and all those kinds of things. So that's what inspires me. So that's the immediate plan, and then just, you know, go from there. Get gigs, hopefully, if that can come back. If not, then you know, I'm also learning how to make electronic productions and stuff. So I'm sort of learning to express myself that way too, just like on my own in my living room, you know. So yeah, just keep making music, keep writing, take whatever comes my way, and yeah, just keep pushing.
Well, you know, all of you inspire us. What about you, Steve and Larry? Any comments?
Yeah, for me, I really want to be working with the Herbie Hancock Institute of Jazz. That's the graduate program that's placed within UCLA. Um, I believe if I get to work with them, I get to work with everybody, you know, which is what I really want to do. I want to keep those connections. I want to keep making music and making friends and just be in the scene. And I think that's a great place to be.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that this has been a great afternoon, and I was put in contact with Holly Wallace, I believe, at the Herbie Hancock Institute, and she has created this musical program for us that I'm going to figure out where the best place to house it at. We have a YouTube channel, but it's about 25 minutes long, so it's not a full program for me to share with all the emeriti and retirees, but I will be sending out more information in our newsletter soon as they're completed putting all the Zooms together and all the recorded performances. So we all miss, you know, live music, and this is very close to being what live music is giving where we are right now with COVID. But if you have any other last questions, please feel free to unmute yourself. I did see a few questions about the Afro Latin Jazz Orchestra. Is there somewhere where we can subscribe to know where we can find out more about the students and how to listen to other?
We actually, we do. We have a performance coming up March 5th at the Fowler Museum, and we'll be sending out some notices about that. And we're working on that program right now.
Okay.
The Afro Latin Jazz Orchestra is part of the course offerings at UCLA, and so as long as there's a UCLA, there will be an Afro Latin Jazz Orchestra.
Bravo, Arturo. Bravo.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
Yes.
Any other final questions anyone wants to say? I know everyone's doing like jazz hands or snapping. So, any other parting words before we wrap up today's program? I don't want to cut it short, but I also don't want to take all your time today.
I have parting words. I heard this today at an EDI meeting, and so I will leave you, all of you, with this thought: stay positive, test negative.
Oh, thank you. And for
Bravo.
those that don't know that, this is sign language for applauding.
All right.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. I'll be in touch about the Herbie Hancock concert that I have, and have a great afternoon. Stay positive, test negative. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Aisha.
Take good
Thank you.
care, everyone.
Thank you.